Okay, and the heretics are led by a heretic priest who has a machine gun, a sword, a sacrificial blade, grenades, and reinforced armor. We have a death commando with Tartarus claws, gas grenades, and reinforced armor. We have a chorister with sacrificial blade, trench shield, and reinforced armor. We have a artillery witch with a trench shield and standard armor. We have 4 identical heretic troopers, each with a semi-automatic rifle, a bayonet lug, and standard armor. And finally, we have everyone's favorite, or at least my favorite, the Werewolf Assault Beast. The court today comes in at 999 ducats. It is led by a sorcerer with a sword and reinforced armor. The spells that it has taken are Burning Inferno and Forbidden Pleasures. So that means that my warband is the Lust warband. I have 2 Hell Knights, each with a Hellblade and a Trench Shield. I have a Hunter of the Left-Hand Path with a Head Taker and reinforced armor. The Desecrated Saint is back. He has a Hellblade and 2 swords. There is a Pit Locust with a Crown of Hellfire, 2 Wretcheds, each with 2 Trench Clubs, 1 Yoke Fiend with an Arquebus, and 2 swords with standard armor. And last, another Yoke Fiend with a sword, a Trench Shield, and standard armor. Alrighty, so here is what the board looks like after deployment. Each side is starting out with 6 models on the board. We are playing Relic Hunt again, but this time with some minor tweaks to the scenario. I was thinking about it a little bit more after playing it a couple of times recently, and so we are still going to ignore the 40mm plus size base disqualification because that's no fun. We want to bring the big stuff. At the start of turn 2, both players receive D3 randomly selected models as reinforcements. And so instead of those models starting on the edge of their board edge, that just makes them not impactful and useless. So instead, we're going to try something this time where they come in off of the side table edges, and it's going to be random whether it's the left or the right side. So the left side for each player will be 1, 2, 3. The right will be 4, 5, 6, and they can deploy anywhere on that edge. So I think that will make it a little bit more interesting. So I wanted to get this game in before I give the Heretic Legion back to my friend Johnny, and so I appreciate him letting me borrow them so I can get them on the channel. Yeah, and then also kind of trying out a slightly different tabletop setup this time for terrain, where there's like sort of a trenches on the right side here, and they're kind of coming down into this ruined city. So I think that might be kind of fun. The reinforcement options for the court are the 2 Yoke Fiends and the 2 Wretched. So that'll be interesting. And the reinforcement options for the Heretic Legion are going to be the 3 Heretic Troopers. So yeah, we'll come back with the roll-off to see who starts off with turn 1. Alrighty, so this time the court will be using the red dice again, and the Heretic Legion will be using the white. So here's the roll-off to see who gets turn 1 priority. 3 and a 4. So the court will be coming up with first activation. Okay, so first activation here is actually going to go to the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path. It's going to climb up 2 and then move 4 forward. So just short of the objective. Is it worth it to try to bounce onto the objective? Gonna try to take a long range shot first at the artillery witch. So +2 range, but then negated for long range and cover. So here is that Bow of the Leth. An 8 will hit, so that's exactly what you want to see. The artillery witch has -2 armor. And so I can either choose to ignore the armor or add 2 dice to the injury roll. I'm not entirely sure which is better statistically. Maybe drop it in the comments what you think is right. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to make the wrong choice here. But I think I'm going to add the 2 dice and just try to go for it. Alrighty, so ideally looking for that 11 to get that out of action. So we'll see if we can start hot here. -2 for the armor. Nope, that's a 10, so it's going to be a knockdown. I'm going to go ahead and try to do a dash to get up onto that objective and see if I can try for the reliquary. Nope, snake eyes, so that's going to be end of the activation for the hunter. At least he ends in cover, so that's okay. So over here, we're going to have the Death Commando move up onto the objective here. He's going to try to take it and see if he can activate the reliquary. No, he cannot. Excellent. Of course. So the Hell Knight is going to move up 2 and then go up 4. Hell Knight is going to try to dash. Wow. Hell Knight also cannot dash onto that objective. That's hilarious. I guess no one's getting points this game. We'll see. This Artillery Witch over here is going to try to take a shot with her bomb onto the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path. It's going to be 2d6, but can't be affected by cover or range, but I can be affected by blood markers. So I'm going to stand up with her. We're going to spend that blood marker with the court to make it 3d6 take the lowest. And we will see. So 6. So 6 means it's going to scatter 1 inch. So, I'll show you real quick. 1 inch off the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path. The court can choose the direction, so we'll just have it move over this way. From the center. Okay, so it's not a direct hit, so it doesn't ignore his armor, but it will at least hit him. It's 3d6, add them all together if it's a direct hit, not ignores armor. So this is just going to be 2d6, and the armor is in effect, so -3 for the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path. So 7 down to a 4 is just going to be a blood marker on him. Alright, and this Pit Locust is going to fly 8 inches up here, maybe like this, and then try to dash, because why not? That is a 6 and a 1, so that will make it. So gonna go ahead and dash up here onto this central objective, and then gonna try to take that reliquary. So let's see if that Pit Locust can take that reliquary. Wow, critical takes the reliquary, so that's awesome. And that will be 1 point. We'll have this simple Heretic Trooper go. He's going to try to move 6 up. Might as well take a little bit of cover if he can. And he is going to try to dash onto the objective. No, he does not want that objective, so no one's going to score that, I don't think. I think it's just going to go away. He'll try to take a long-range shot at the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path. So this is going to actually be cover and long range. So it's going to be 46, take the lowest. It's very bad odds, but whatever. Yeah, 3 won't do it. Let's go with the Desecrated Saint. He's going to try to go 6 inches up onto the objective here. Like that. He's going to try to take that objective, the reliquary. And he does. So, not a lot of murdering happening yet. But the court is strategically minded in this one. So yeah. I wonder if I go for a dash. Yeah, let's go for the dash as well. I got that one. Wow, and he's rolling excellently. That's good to see. You like to see it. I think he's going to actually come over this way. Like this. And back over here, we have the Warwolf. And the werewolf is going to move 8 inches. Up like so. Werewolf is going to dash, which gets 3 dice, because it gets an extra die. And it gets it. So the werewolf is going to pop on up here. And then the werewolf lastly is going to try to see if it can get a point for the Heretic Legion. And it cannot with the 6. So we are still pointless for the Heretic Legion. That's awesome. This Hell Knight right here, just try to get up here onto the objectives as well. I'm going to come up 6. And then try to dash. That's exactly a 7. That's good stuff. Chorister is going to go ahead and move up 6. And then try to dash. Fails the dash. That's hilarious. All right. I'm realizing I'd made a big goof on this scenario for the court because I didn't take my wretched blood battery as one of my 6. So now I'm short on blood. Oh, stinky. Which is going to make things a little bit interesting here because I cannot fireball anyone to start. So I'm going to need to start getting some blood going. So for right now, we are just going to move the sorcerer 6. So the last activation of turn 1 is this Heretic Priest right here with the machine gun. And the Heretic Priest has some shots. It looks like he could either shoot at the Hell Knight, the Pit Locust, or the Desecrated Saint in cover. I think I'm going to plop some shots into the Desecrated Saint just to see if I can burn that tough. So here we go. It looks like he's firing in on him through the window, which is kind of fun. So the first shot is going to be regularly it's +2, so it would be 46. However, it is not 46 because there is cover, so it's under half range. So we're looking at 3d6 to hit the Desecrated Saint. And that is a hit with the first shot. I just looked at it. Desecrated Saint has -3 armor, and one thing I wanted to mention real quickly is that the aura that he has for being Lust is a really, really cool one. So it's enemy models within 6 inches of him gain no benefit from the armor they wear, as they are naked before the serpent head of Lust. So that's pretty cool, and I'm going to try to remember that. That's going to be really, really cool, I think. Especially if he can get over there to charge the werewolf or something like that and just negate that armor. That could be really good. But then the Chorister, what would you think? Let me know in the comments. I'll probably keep saying it wrong or right, who knows. That aura is going to be helpful though to give -1 dice. So a lot of good fun stuff going on here, good interactions. But we are going to go ahead and roll the injury roll. The injury roll is -3. So 7 is just 1 blood marker. Okay, and so now we're going to take the second machine gun shot. And that barely hits with a 7, but barely is good enough in this game. -3 to the injury, 9 to a 6. Again, I know somebody got mad at me for doing this last time, but I'm going to spend the injury, I'm going to spend the blood marker to add an extra dice. And my reasoning for this is that I would have done it regardless. It's not me cheating and looking at the dice. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm playing against myself, so who am I really cheating? Myself. But I would have spent the blood marker. I was just trying to move too quickly and I forgot about it. So we will spend that and add 1 more dice. And it doesn't matter in this case anyways. So it's just going to be a 6 and it's going to return that blood marker. And then the last machine gun shot, here it goes. A 6 will miss. Actually, no. Again, there's 1 more dice. See, I'm screwing up. This time I'm not adding the dice late. Should have already been there to begin with the roll to hit. And so it does hit. And we will spend the blood marker to roll 3 dice. -3. So that's a 7. And how about he just will end with a single blood marker on him? Okay, so that is the end of turn 1. Absolutely 0 out of actions. So about the least bloody game we've had in quite some time on the channel. And the court was able to score 2 victory points. Meanwhile, the Heretic Legion just really could not find those reliquaries or do what they needed to do with them because they got 0 points. This objective over here will be going away, as will this one. And we will be coming into turn 2. We will also have some reinforcements, so those rolls will be coming up too. Okay, so the court will be receiving D3 reinforcements. That's going to be 1. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, reroll 5, 6. 1 will be the Yoke Fiend. Okay, so no blood battery this game. Yikes. If you remember correctly, if you remember from earlier, I had said he would come in on a 1, 2, 3 on the left-hand side, a 4, 5, 6 on the right-hand side. So let's see what that's going to be. A 1, 2 will be the left-hand side. Interesting. We're right here. Behind, or next to, the Heretic Priest. So we're going to have, how many reinforcements? 2. All right, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And at the end of the day, it didn't even matter what I rolled because they were all identical. So maybe I could have even just skipped that. But this one will matter. So the left-hand side would be 1, 2, 3. Right-hand side would be 4, 5, 6. The right-hand side and the left-hand side. So 1 coming on each side. We're going to drop one of these Heretic Troopers just right here. And kamikaze mission. You might see where my mind is at with him. Over here, we're going to drop right here. You can probably see another kamikaze mission. This one has maybe better odds going against the Yoke Fiend versus a Hunter of the Left-Hand Path and the Hell Knight. But the Yoke Fiend has a hateful ability where it has to charge the closest target. So by placing there, when he activates, he'll have to actually charge at the trooper instead of the Heretic Priest, which should free up the priest to just keep unloading with the machine gun. So now the Heretics have 8 models on the board versus the Court's 7. So this little ploy to run over and steal the objective is going to fail, possibly, because the Court has the option where they could go ahead and activate first and just wreck that guy and take the objective. But I think, and this might be the wrong play, but I think it makes more sense to go with the Desecrated Saint and get into the Werewolf and see if I can really do some damage to the Werewolf instead. So I think that's what's going to happen instead. All of this for the Desecrated Saint. Oh no. He's about 11 inches away. So if he's 11 inches and he needs to get within 1 inch, he needs to get a 5 on a D6 for the charge. The problem is if he dashes to get closer, then the Heretic Legion can spend that blood marker to make it 3d6, take the lowest. So I think he's got to try to just... Now here's an interesting question too. Can the Heretic Legion spend the blood to increase the difficulty of the actual charge? My understanding was no, but let me know in the comments again. You know, little things pop up every game. So we're going to play it like no. Here's that roll to see if you can get the 5 up for the charge. Oh, and he gets it. Okay, that is freaking crazy. Okay, you love to see it. Oh, first attack coming in here. And we're going to have, normally it would be 5 attack dice, but the Chorister reduces it to 4. The blood marker reduces it to 3. So here is 3 attack dice with the old Hellblade. Barely gets it with the 7. Thankfully he does get it. That's freaking awesome. And I think the Chorister thing is only on the attack action. I think the injury roll isn't an action. So I think the injury is still just 3 dice here. and we'll see what that does. So we're gonna have 3 dice, ignoring armor, because of the Aura of Lust. And that is a 9, which is glorious, because that's gonna knock him down and remove his first life because of tough. So now we're gonna be at 5 dice regularly, goes down to 4 for the second sword. Here's the second sword swing. Oh my god, dude, it was not meant to be for the werewolf today, because the sword has the critical keyword. So it is actually gonna roll 2 dice regularly, +1 for the crit, +1 for the critical keyword, and then +1 for the knockdown. Is going to be 5 dice coming at him, ignoring armor. Sheesh. And yeah, that'll take him out of action. Good lord. Okay, so out goes the werewolf in a pretty big swing here. That's nasty to get him out of there before he even gets to attack or do really much of anything. And then the Desecrated Saint is going to try to get the reliquary, but because the chorister is nearby, he's going to be rolling 3d6, take the lowest. And yeah, he's off by 1, so he does not flip it. And that is going to be... yeah, that's going to be the end of his turn. All right, so we got this sneaky get here. Operation Infiltration. He's going to go ahead and slide in here. Be the absolute bravest heretic of all time. And does the gamble pay off? It does. So that will be the first point for the heretics. And he's going to take a point-blank shot into the... He'll take it into the hunter. Why not? So hits on a 7. Nope, he misses. Most excellent. All right, so here's what we're going to do with the old chorister. He is going to try to charge into the Desecrated Saint. So 5 will get him there. And let's look at what his stat line is. I think he's +1 to melee, but it's the first time I've ever used him. He's +2 to melee. So he's going to have 4 dice with melee. And he has a sacrificial blade. Okay, so here's going to be his 4 dice to attack. Alright, so he is going to hit. But he's only going to have 2 dice with +2 on the injury. So instead of -3, this will be -1. -1 instead of -3. Alright, he burns through the tough. So that's going to knock him down. Unfortunately, he's only got 1 melee weapon because he's carrying a trench shield. But I figured that might be a good way to roll him about, you know, to give him the survivability to give that debuff bubble. Oh man, okay, so he's also going to try to take the objective. Oh my gosh, wow, so ultimate MVP move here to score another point for them. That is freaking awesome. Okay, so the court is going to go with this Hell Knight right here. He's going to try to charge into the chorister. He gets a 5, so he has plenty of room. I think with the objective, maybe that'll put him just right here or something. Okay, so he has a Hellblade. He's +2 melee. So reduced from 4 dice down to 3 dice. That's still a lot of dice. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, 4, 4, 5. That will in fact hit. And that's going to be just +1 dice for the Hellblade with +1 dice to injuries, but ignores the chorister's -3 armor because of the aura of the Desecrated Saint. Man, that aura is really good. I thought I really liked the Wrath one. The Wrath one, for those of you who don't know, gives +1 dice to melee and to dash rolls within 8 inches of him. But this one's very good too. Both very good auras. Hard to choose. Which one do you guys think is better? Put in the comments. So yeah, we'll have 3d6 here. See if he can burn right through that chorister while he has no armor. Yeah, he kapoots him. He's toast. Okay. So that is going to be... Well, actually, let's see if he can dash. He can. That's nice. Let's see if he can come right over here onto this objective. And see if he can try to score it. And the rich get richer, ladies and gentlemen, because he scores another point for these court. Wow. All right, the heretics really need to get something going here to get this one swinging back in their direction. Let's see what happens. We're going to go with the heretic priest. The heretic priest has 4 dice. 4 dice to hit. It is going to be long range shooting at the Hell Knight, and it looks like it will also be... no, I don't think I see cover. So maybe 3 dice. So here we go. There's 3 dice trying to hit the Hell Knight. And that will do it with the 7. Yep, so that'll do it with a 7. So it is going to be knocked down, so 3 dice. Let's see what we get here. Oh man, yep, that's exactly what they needed, just what the doctor ordered. Boxcars will take the Hell Knight out of action. Night-night, sweet prince. And that helps swing things back in the other direction quite nicely. Yeah, plenty of targets within 6 inches, so gonna fire the next shot into the Hell Knight. And this one will also be long range, but no cover. So here we go. That one will hit, and this one will be just 2 dice. And so the 2 dice, looking at -2 on the Hell Knight. So 9 to a 7 is going to be a knockdown on him. And yeah, let's fire that last machine gun shot in there. Here's 3d6 to hit, and that'll do it. That's a 5-3-3. So 3 dice here, -2. That's a 9 to a 7, so that'll be 2 blood markers on him. Let's see what the court can do here. Thinking that the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path is going to try to put some hurt into the old artillery witch. Yeah, no blood. Otherwise I could do some of these cool goetic actions. So yeah, we're just gonna come up 6. With the blood marker. Does not put us within 12. We just gotta take the shot though. We really can't be messing around. So gonna take the long range shot at the Heretic Priest, which will be 4 dice. It's gonna spend the blood to try to make it 3 dice. Let's just see what happens. So here's the 3 dice to hit the Heretic, or the Artillery Witch, and it's enough. That causes the bow to fail. Wow. And you know what? We might as well go for a dash. So here's the dash. Dash is good. So we'll bring the dash up here. Try to get ready for next turn and see if the hunter survives, then he'll be in a good spot to put a hurt on that artillery witch. Yeah, I think we got a good choice here. Let's do the this trooper here. He's going to try to charge into the hunter. A 1, even a 1 will still get him there because he's so close. And really the goal here is just to tie him up. That way he won't be able to just charge right into the into the artillery witch. The artillery witch can fire a shot that'll be more meaningful, I think, going right into the middle of the board and maybe trying to destroy that Hell Knight. So here is the attack from the regular trooper. A 9 will hit, and as we -3. Yeah, 4. The 1 is actually nothing. So he, as anticipated, he did nothing, but that's okay. He ties him ready. So we'll go with this Yoke Fiend. He's got to charge here because he's hateful. So he's going to charge in. He's got 2 swords. So first sword attack, 3d6. Yep, that's a hit. That's almost a crit, as a matter of fact, but it's not a crit. And so it's 2d6, and it's going to be -1. So 7 to a 6 will just be a blood marker. Here's the offhand attack. Hits with an 8. And then it's going to be +1 dice because I'll spend that blood marker for -1. Yeah, and that'll out of action that trooper. And while we're here, this Death Commando may as well try to get the reliquary points again. Let's see if he can do it. And he can. Glorious, glorious day. So that is some points for them. And so we'll put one of these on here. And then he is going to... let's see if he could dash. No, Snake Eyes. Wow, he's going to stay there. That was a stinker. The goal was I was trying to get him to charge over to the middle, maybe with a dash, but not meant to be for him. The sweet, sweet Hell Knight. Where is his rules? Here we go. Okay, so he's got the Hellblade, so he's going to try to charge in here. He does get there, more than enough. And he's going to punish this guy for stealing the objective. He does not like that. So he's going to have +2 melee dice. So he'll be rolling four melee dice. And that is... Oh yeah, that's definitely a hit. And he's going to be looking at 3 dice for his Hellblade. So here's the Hellblade. Yeah, -1 from a 9 will be an 8. Wow, so he doesn't kill him. That's great. So great for the other guys. So that's a knockdown on him. And he's going to have 1 blood, which actually might be good for the Sorcerer. Good job, Hell Knight. Helping him out with his fireball action, thankfully. Okay, so the Artillery Witch is going to try to take her shot over here onto the Hell Knight. A perfect world. It will also splash onto the Pit Locust. Alrighty, here it comes. So we are just looking at 2d6 here. And that will hit with an 8. So this is going to be catastrophic damage, honestly, because it's 3d6, 4d6, and then spend the 2 blood to make it 6d6, take the 3 highest. Which is actually not a great roll. Pretty much a terrible roll. But it is still a 5 and a 4 and a 3 for a 12. So -2 is 10. That will take out the Hell Knight. So very good stuff. And then a splash of regular old 2d6 damage on the Pit Locust. This is most likely going to do nothing because the Pit Locust is -3 armor. Yeah, that's beyond nothing with Snake Eyes, so that's alright. The real win was the Hell Knights we killed along the way. Okay, so the Sorcerer is the last model remaining. The Sorcerer is going to try to move 6. To right there. And the Sorcerer is going to try to take a shot with a fireball, spending the 1 blood off of the Heretic Trooper over here. And he's going to put a fireball onto the Artillery Witch. Yep. And so we're looking at 3d6, but then -1 for cover, if I'm not mistaken. This ignores... What does it ignore? Suffers penalties for long range, but not for cover. Okay, so it ignores the cover, but it does suffer the 1 for long range. Here's that 2d6 roll. Wow. think, that one was cocked, so let's reroll that. Okay, so not a crit, but it is a hit. So that is going to be, let's see, I think that's going to ignore the armor. Yeah, ignores that model's armor. So this is just going to be straight up what it is. Yep, and that's a 10. And that's going to out of action the Artillery Witch. That's the end of the turn. How many models does the court have remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're still good. However, the Heretic Legion have 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are going to need, with 1 down, so 3. So they are going to need a morale check here. Here comes the Heretic Legion morale check. So they fail, and they will run away, so this game will go to the court. Okay, so that was a pretty fun one. There were some big swings in there. I did like the chorister next to the werewolf. That was pretty cool. A user commented that on the last video, so I had to try that out. Definitely the Desecrated Saint was a beast in getting that 5 on the charge, really kind of swung things. Being able to remove the werewolf with its 3 attacks was pretty clutch in the middle. That allowed a nice swing. Yeah, it was. I think that having the models come in off the sideboard edges instead of, your deployment board edges made a big difference in them actually doing something and getting into the fray. So that was kind of cool to see. Yeah, I think this was a pretty fun game. Even though the Heretic Legion didn't pull it off, I think they have a lot of potential and a really cool faction. So we'll see you for the next one. Comment who you'd like to see in the next one, and I'll see what I can do.